afternoon. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. What I want to talk about today is not doing other people's dirty work. Don't do nobody's dirty work. That's the topic. That's the theme. Don't do nobody's dirty work. Now, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. Many times when we're at jobs, and especially corporate America, okay? If you're in corporate America, I need you to stop what you're doing and listen up. Many times when we are at jobs, like I said, especially corporate America, what happens is, you befriend people, and we'll get into that later. You befriend your coworkers, you start talking to your coworkers, and it never fails that you'll always have a coworker, someone you talk to at work, that has it out for somebody else for whatever reasons. I mean, just hates a person, has it out for somebody else. And this coworker, they'll be talking to you and telling you how terrible this person is, how horrible they are, what they've done, why they don't deserve to be there, this, that, and the third, on and on and on. And if you are not careful, before you know it, you will get sucked into that, and you will start taking that in, and before you know it, you're going to be doing what that person wants to do, which is create drama and confusion with the ultimate goal of getting their arch nemesis out of a job and out of the company. So that's why I say don't do nobody's dirty work. I have seen it happen countless times, over and over and over and over again, and we, especially as black women, got to be real careful about that. Real careful, because we have a hard enough time in corporate America as it is. We have a hard enough time navigating the social dynamics and really trying to find our place where we don't need this extra bullshit. So, let me tell y'all a story. As most of you who read my blog or have read my blog know, I've spent my entire career in corporate America, and I've always held, pretty high positions. I've always managed, controlled accounting and finance departments. I've always had employees working under me. Well, I worked at a job, one of the last jobs I worked at before I walked away from corporate America. And that's a whole nother talk in and of itself. But one of the last jobs I had before I, walked away from corporate America, it was a really, really, really large company. And I was the controller over, I was a controller for a certain section of the company. And so a controller, for those of you that don't know, is pretty much the word for the person that controls all the accounting and all the finance for a company or a department, a division, or whatever. So I was a controller. And I had quite a few open positions in my department for cash room counters. So these were people that worked in the cash room, and their job was just to count money. They just counted money. Well, the dynamics of that particular department of mine were really weird, and here's why. In this job in the cash room, there's a lot of downtime. So where I worked at, it was a really large arena where they would have concerts and shows and events. And the job of the cash room was pretty much, or not pretty much, was to just count all the money that came in from, you know, the sale of food and drink and what have you, merchandise, tickets, whatever. And what would happen is, they were all women working in the cash room. I didn't have one man. And I don't know why that is. It just seemed to be only women applied for it. And on top of it being all women, they were all white women, and they were all older white women. So pretty much the type of people that apply for this job is really a part-time job. You know, no stress, real easy. Come in, count some money, go home. Pretty much people that were like retired, or people who were just looking for a second job. So needless to say, you look at that dynamic. They're all women. They're older women. They're white women. And there's a lot of downtime in the job. So the average shift for the ladies in this department, it was about 9 hours every couple days. But within that 9 hours, they would only be really working maybe 3 or 4 of those hours. The other time, it was just spent waiting around, waiting for the show to end and all the money to come down so they could count it. So a lot of downtime or whatever. And so we all know what happens when you mix, you know, women and downtime. Gossip, drama, and all types of shit. So these women, you know, they had this manufactured drama with each other, just this unspoken, you know, she thinks she's better, and just a whole bunch of bullshit. So anyway, there was, I had an open position, and I decided that it would be a good idea if I hired one of my really, or so I thought, was one of my really good friends, really good girlfriend of mine. She had never really had a real job before. She didn't really have any experience in anything. But me being the type of person I am, I've always been like, you know, if I win, we all win. If I have an opportunity to help out a friend or someone who's close to me, and if I can like reach down and pull you up to where I'm at, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. That's the type of person I am. It's how I roll. It's how I've always been. I've always been like, get the bag and keep it in the crew. That's how I've always been. So when I was looking to fill this position, first thing that goes through my mind is, okay, well, this would be a great opportunity for this really good friend of mine. It'd give her something to put on her resume. It'd give her a job, some good income. It's not hard. This would be great. So I hired her, right? The first couple weeks were good. You know, she got along with the ladies got along with her, right? Well, what ended up happening is that I needed a supervisor of this particular department because I was doing so many other things. I didn't have time to do what I was doing, plus watch the damn cash room. So I needed a supervisor. So I went out, hired a supervisor. Now, the friend I hired, she was black girl around my age, middle 30s, okay? Hired a supervisor. Another black girl, I didn't know her before, another black girl around my age, middle 30s, but she had a lot of experience. She had worked there before, and it was a great fit. Well, when I hired this supervisor, I don't know if the ladies in the cash room felt like the black girl quota was too damn high, or I don't know what the fuck went on, but they started to give a little pushback, have a little resistance, all right? And there was one lady in particular, older white lady, she didn't like the supervisor. And in my opinion, and I'm not saying that this woman was racist, because I do not believe that, but in my opinion, the only reason she didn't like her was because she was a black girl. She's a black woman. That's it. And like I said, I don't think that makes her racist, but I feel that was her problem with her. I think she just had a problem reporting to... It was never an issue with her reporting to me, but I think it's because I was so high up, she didn't even feel like I was anywhere on her level. But I feel like with the black girl I hired as a supervisor, it kind of felt to me that maybe she felt a little threatened or whatever. So she had a problem with her. She actually came to me a couple times and said, I got a problem with, let's call this girl Keisha. I got a problem with Keisha. And I'm like, well, she's a supervisor. Well, I had a problem with her or whatever. So what happened was, this white lady who had the problem with her, she was smart in a sense of she would come to me and complain about the woman on the low, but she would never confront the woman, and she always showed the utmost respect to the woman. She never did anything that would jeopardize her position there. What she did was she latched on to my friend that I hired and got in her ear. Now, mind you, the friend I hired and the supervisor had no issues before. None. They were completely fine. Well, this lady gets in her ear and starts telling her how terrible this woman is, how unfair this woman is, how this woman wants to fire her. I mean, just all this fucking nonsense. And then I started to see that my friend that I hired, she started to have a problem with the supervisor. She started to come to me and say, well, let's call this woman Marcy. Marcy talks crazy to people. Marcy acts like this. Marcy does this, that, and the third. So it was really concerning to me, or not concerning, it was shocking to me, because I was thinking, wait a second, you never had a problem with her before. So I started to dig a little deeper. I'm like, did something happen between you all? And she's like, no. Basically, it came down to this girl really had no real reason not to like her, and the more she would complain to me about her, then she started to say, well, let's call the white woman who's starting to shit Kathy. She started to say, well, Kathy says, and Kathy thinks, and so then that's when it hit me, okay, you really don't have a problem with this woman. You are parroting and repeating what Kathy is telling you. And why would Kathy be going so hard in the paint telling you all this about this woman? Well, Kathy, for whatever reasons, is jealous of the woman, wants the woman fired, wants her gone, but she's smart enough not to jeopardize her position and do anything that's going to get her in trouble, or do anything that's going to make it seem like she's the one that got the static. She's smart enough not to do that, but what she's doing is she's latching on to you, brainwashing you to think that the woman is this and the woman is that, so you can essentially do her dirty work for her. What's going on? And when I saw that, I sat my friend down and I said, look, this is the deal, okay? You never had a problem with the supervisor before. She's never said anything to you sideways, never done nothing scandalous to you, been nothing but nice and good to you, right? So don't allow how someone else feels about a person to influence you and your actions and your behavior. Don't do nobody's dirty work. This is what I told her. Don't do nobody's dirty work. And she said, I know, I'm not doing nobody's dirty work. Well, fast forward a couple months later, this woman just got in her ear to the point my friend ended up she ended up doing things that forced me to let her go. Like just causing friction with this woman. And the funny thing about it is, when I let her go, she was expecting this white woman, Donna, who she let get in her ear and start this drama. She was expecting her to stand up for her on her behalf and say, well, it's not her fault, the supervisor is terrible. And then none of that shit happened. When I let her go, I'm going to tell you what that white woman said to me. The next day, and this is a true story, like I'm not exaggerating this shit at all. The very next day, or not the next day, the next time I saw her, the next time she worked, she said, well, I heard such and such doesn't work here anymore, so can I have her hours? That's what she said. So that's why I say, don't do nobody's dirty work. Let me tell you something. People will get in your ear and get in your head and manipulate you to think and believe your coworker is doing this or your supervisor is doing that. And you really have to ask yourself, why? Why are they doing it? Why are they saying this stuff to me? And more times than not, what it is they want to create some smoke. They want to create some drama. They want to do something to get this person gone, but they don't want it on them. They want to throw that shit on you, and they want you to do it. They want you to be the one to be on the front lines of this shit. And at the end of the day, what happened is you'll be the one running around looking like the troublemaker, looking like the person that can't get along with nobody, looking like a fool. And you know what they will be doing? They will be still going to work, getting that check, and won't miss a beat. And your ass will be sitting at home looking for a job. You'll be sitting in HR looking to come back after being suspended because you done got into some stupid shit. So, we just have to be really conscious of the information we take in. And we have to really, be honest about what people's true intentions are. And, it's even happened to me. I had a coworker that would do that same thing. She knew that I took issue or had an issue with some of the things that my boss was doing that I didn't like. And what this coworker who, claimed to be my friend, what she would do is she would make little comments. She would say things like, oh, well, I don't want to say specifics because it won't make sense without giving more detail of that situation, but the bottom line is she would do things and make little comments that were crafted to make me angry or make me have a bigger problem with this woman. Or she would say things like, well, you need to confront her about this, and you need to do this, and you need to go, tell on her, and you need to make this part known, right? And my thought would be, why don't you do it? You don't want to do it because you don't want to get fired, but yet you think you want me to do it. So I was very aware that she was trying to get me to do her dirty work, and I refused to do it. And you just have to be aware of that. And when you become aware of that, it's best to just cut that person off. Because here's the thing, like I always say, garbage in, garbage out. If you take garbage in to your energy and your mind, you're going to get garbage coming out of your energy and your mind. So I don't want, and nor should you, I don't want anybody around me that just got negative shit to say 24/7. I don't want anybody around me that's going to try to encourage me to have a problem or have a beef with someone based on how they feel about them. That is not a friend. And we have to be very mindful of that. And you all, really need to be mindful of that. So I encourage you, next time, you're talking to a coworker or somebody at work and they start trying to fill your head with a whole bunch of negativity and beef about a person, you know what? Ask yourself, are they trying to get me to do their dirty work for them? Or are they just negative people? Because either way, you don't want those people around you. So, guys, you know what? Comment down below. And what I really want to know is, has anyone ever been in a situation in which you got tricked into doing somebody's dirty work? I think we all have. And how did it work out for you? And and a person that tricked you into doing their dirty work, did you ever confront them on that topic? That's kind of what I want to know. So y'all comment down below. Let's talk about it. So talk to you later. Bye.